Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Madeline Monho. I'm a drag queen and a visual artist, and I've been gone from YouTube for a hot minute. I've been so busy over the last couple of months. I currently work in coronavirus testing, which here in the UK is still extremely busy. So I haven't really had time to film any content for you guys, and I thought, what better way to come back to YouTube than to make a really quick and simple tutorial on how I glue my brows down. So hopefully you guys can see the difference already. I'm going to be showing you how you can glue your brows either for drag or for any kind of really crazy face paint, special effects makeup. It's really versatile, and I hope you enjoy. Before we get into actually gluing the brows down, I'm just going to give you a quick run through of my staple products that I use to glue my brows. So first of all, obviously you're going to need glue. I personally use the Elmer's Disappearing Purple glue, which is what they use, I think, on Drag Race a lot of the time. But the most important thing about whatever glue that you pick up is that it needs to be washable. So a lot of people say to me, and I've heard a lot just in the makeup community in general, that people are scared to glue their brows down because they think that the glue is going to damage their natural eyebrows or rip their hair out or, you know, damage their skin in some kind of way. I promise you, the thing about washable glue is that it just comes out with water. It doesn't rip your eyebrow hairs at all. Just wash it out and it will be fine. So this is the glue that you're definitely going to need, some form of washable glue. And second, you're going to need either a baking or a setting powder, just something translucent. This one is my favourite. I like to use the Makeup Revolution coconut baking powder. Just that is really super cheap. You guys who use Makeup Revolution will know how budget friendly their prices are, but like I said, any translucent powder will be fine. I think some drag queens even use like baby powder, so it really doesn't have to be anything fancy, just to set the glue once it's down on your skin. You're also going to need a spoolie. These usually come on the ends of eyebrow brushes. I actually picked this one up from Morphe when they used to give them out for free. I don't think they do that anymore, which is such a shame, but again, you can probably pick up like a 20 pack of these even on eBay if you just want to have a few spare. So those are my three staple products, and then I also use a fourth product which is optional, but if you have darker eyebrows, this is something that's going to be really helpful to actually cover them. So I use the Kryolan Camouflage Creme, which is just a cream paint palette for your skin. This is actually super pricey, so I wouldn't recommend buying it unless you are a professional makeup artist or especially a special effects makeup artist. This one was kindly gifted to me by my best friend, so I haven't actually had to buy it myself, thank God. But I just use this top red shade just to cover the darkness of the brows before I put my foundation on. And it just, like I said, really helps to mask the brow hair. So those are my three staples and my one optional product that I think you're going to need. So without further ado, let's glue these brows. So I like to start from the end of my brow, and I just like really get that glue in there. Really like I said, it doesn't have to be anything, you know, like specific. I actually like on this layer to go the opposite way from the way that your brow hair goes naturally, which is why I'm going from tail to the front end of my brow, just so that I make sure that all of those hairs are covered. As you can see, very purple, so that's good. And then I like to give the glue just maybe 15-20 seconds to kind of get a little bit stickier, like set a little bit, before I take my spoolie and start moving the hairs into position. So when I actually move the hairs, I like to start from this end of the brow, and as you can see, just drag the spoolie through from bottom up to top, just to really flatten those hairs to your skin. And on this layer, I would then go the same direction as your brow hair goes. So I would go from the front of the brow to the tail, and you just make sure that it's all pressed down. Okay, so as you can see now, all the hair is kind of like how this one is. It's all spiked up, essentially. And just to be on the safe side, once I've done that, I usually take the glue while this layer is still wet and I go through again. This time you follow the direction of your hair. So don't go this way through your brows anymore because you're going to disturb what you've just done. So just follow the hairs up like this until you can see that they're all really, really flat to your skin. And there you have it. You've done the first layer. That is the most important layer. You're Gucci. So before you start on any of the other layers, you have to let the glue dry. So you can either do this naturally or you can do it with a fan. I personally like to do it with my hairdryer because I'm impatient. But all you do is set the hairdryer onto the coldest setting and just blow dry your brow for 30 seconds or so until it's dry to touch. Okay, so as you can see now that my brow is glued down, it is still slightly tacky, but that's fine, just as long as you're not disturbing any of the hairs that you just styled with your spoolie, you're going to be good to go. So for the second layer of glue, it's super easy. All you do is just push the glue through your brow hair. Again, following the direction that the hair naturally goes so you don't disturb any of the work that you just did. And then you're pretty much good to go. So how many layers of glue you want to use in your brow is going to take some experimentation. I think I used to use 5 when I first started. I now use 3, but my brows are quite thin, so if you have thicker brows you might need to use 4 or 5, but again, it's totally different for every person. It's just what you like and what you feel works for you. So have a little play around and see what works best. But all I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry what I've just done on the second layer of glue. And then I'm just going to repeat that step again, and then we're going to be good to put some powder and try and cover them properly. So I just take a powder brush. I take quite a liberal amount of powder on it, and literally all I do is powder over the brow. Like, you've got no other makeup or anything on your skin, so it really doesn't matter like where it goes, just as long as you just like cover the glue with a little bit of powder. That will be fine. And because, like I said, the glue's not wet, it's not like you'd need the powder to set the glue or anything like that. It's just to give it a bit of a better base to then put makeup over it. So the next step is where I start to use my optional product. I'm going to show you how to use it just because I've mentioned it now, so I should include it. But all I do, like I said, these are a cream colour. You could probably use a red lipstick or anything that's like a red cream. And I just swirl my finger in this red paint. And like, you can hardly see that. That's hardly picking up on camera. But I will just come to my brow and just gently tap the red over my brow. Like I said, my brows are pretty thin and they're also pretty light naturally, so I don't need to use a lot of this. I just, you know, cover them a little bit. If your brows are darker, you might find that you need to use a little bit more. But again, don't drag the product either, just in case you disturb the glue. Just dab it over. And because you're putting foundation over the top, you really don't need to be that accurate. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just to make the dark hairs blend into your foundation and look like your skin a little bit more. So that's the step that I like to include. Once you've put that cream on, that is what you really need to set with the powder. So again, I take a very liberal amount of powder and I just dab it on over the cream, and that sets the cream, and it also diffuses the colour already. I mean, you can really see the difference just with one layer of powder over that. And you only really need one layer. It's not like you have to go back in and back in. like I said, you're not really setting foundation or anything, and the Kryolan stuff is a really professional product. It's nothing, you know, weird, so you don't need loads and loads of layers of powder to set it properly. But this is how I prepare my brows to then layer the foundation on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead with my routine as normal now. I'm going to apply a primer to my face, and I'm going to apply a layer of my favorite foundation, and I'll be back to show you how it looks before and after concealer as well. Okay, I'm back, and this is just my normal foundation, which is the Tarte Shape Tape Hydrating Foundation, applied over the top of my skin and my brows using a sponge. What I like to do next in my routine is go in and cover the brows with a concealer. Again, it really doesn't matter too much what concealer you use. I know the NARS one, the NARS pot is supposed to be really good, but again, expensive. I personally use the Makeup Revolution one that is supposed to be a dupe for the Shape Tape concealer. Makeup Revolution just really is such a staple brand, and I really recommend you guys check it out. Totally unrelated to this video, check it out because it's so budget friendly and just it performs so well. But all I like to do with my concealer is literally brush it on top of the brow. I've already applied concealer to the rest of my face off camera, so not too thick a layer, but just thick enough to cover it all. I look like an owl. So yeah, just concealer like that on top of the powder that you just set your foundation with. And then I take the other end of my beauty blender. This one's from Morphe, but it's a sponge, any will work. Take this end and I just start to diffuse the concealer into the rest of my foundation. You then want to just powder your whole face. I usually don't powder my face separate to my brows. When I've put concealer on, I just like to set everything at the same time, again, because I'm lazy. But what I would do is just go in with a slightly more liberal layer of powder on top of your brows, as opposed to like the rest of your face. That's it basically, guys. I mean, the thing is that now we're on camera like this, obviously you can still see where my brow is, but if I got a little bit further away and, you know, imagine I've got a full face of makeup and other brows drawn on, I think it looks pretty good. What I will do is I'm going to go and do the look that I have planned for today anyway, and I'll come back at the end to basically show you guys how it looks with a full face of drag makeup, which I think is going to be helpful. Sorry if the lighting changes. It's I think about 2:30 here in the UK at the moment, and it's going to get dark soon, which I forgot to account for again, so I'm sorry about that, but hopefully it will all be fine, and I will see you when I've finished my final look. So here I am back in full drag makeup, if only it were that easy. And as you can see now, my brows are drawn on along with the rest of my makeup, and it's so much harder to tell that I have actually glued them down. When you do your brows, especially for the first time, please try not to be too hard on yourself, because it is a difficult thing to do. And if you do find yourself being a little bit, you know, unkind to your brain, just remember that I've been doing drag for 10 months now, and my eyebrows are not even whatsoever. Like, it is hard, guys. It's pretty hard to figure out how to do it right and how to do it in a way that you're happy with. But I think this is a great start. Like, learning to glue your natural brows in the first place is the very first step that you need to take. And if anybody has any tips on how to draw your eyebrows more evenly, please let me know in the comments, because obviously I could do with that. But I hope you guys have liked this tutorial, and if you want me to do any more drag-esque tutorials in future, please let me know in the comments, because I've really enjoyed it and I would really like to do them for you guys. So hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!